What's up, y'all? I know it's been a minute. I've been busy with a million and two things lately over the past half a year. Started a new job, recently had a big move, meeting new people, and a lot more things. I always had my YouTube channel in the back of my mind, like, man, I want to get back to that one of these days, but I just haven't been able to do any new content. But I'm gonna try to get back to doing that for y'all, fam. Anyway, I got another controversial topic for y'all. It seems to me that black people love being slaves. Simple as that. I did a video last year talking about the 4th of July, and I know the 4th of July ain't coming until a few months from now, but still, I saw this comment on the video. I had never seen the comment before until today, but look at this right quick. Bruh, comments like this really, they irritate me, man. Like, it seems like black people enjoy making excuses for the shortcomings of Europeans. And we all know that if this was an abusive relationship, that everybody would be telling that girl to stop making excuses for that dude because he ain't crack. America has extreme racist history. I can name a few things off the back right now. The national anthem was written by a slave-holding racist, someone who thought very little of our people. Number 2, the Declaration of Independence was signed for white people, not black people. Blacks were still slaves. And the so-called blacks that this dude was talking about in his comment that fought for the independence of America, dude, you don't know what happened during that time period? A lot of our people were given promises of freedom and were just simply told to get back on the slave plantation after the war. They weren't even given their freedom. Some of them probably were, but most of them weren't. That's why slavery went on for a whole 150 years after the fact. On top of that, let's put that in today's terms, okay? You got a young woman, right, who gets kidnapped and held hostage. Somebody is raping her in his basement, forcing her to clean up trash and cook food and do all this stuff. And if she even tries to escape, he will personally telephone and have somebody bomb her husband's house, right? So she can't do anything. She can't go nowhere, right? But the dude promises her independence if she helps him fight the police that's coming to invade his house to see what the heck is going on. So she helped this dude gain his independence from the police. So now he's like, okay, I'm going to set you free from this hostage situation. Okay, you're free to go. Bye. If that dude makes a celebration in the fact that he was able to fight the police off and he decides to have a party, should she attend the party? Since she helped him fight the police off, even though he was holding her hostage and raping her and doing all this horrible stuff to her. It sounds backwards and dumb as hell, don't it? That's because it is, whether it's on a small scale with 2 individuals or whether it's on a scale of 2 whole nations of people. Black folks and the Europeans that enslaved us. Another part of this dude's comment that stood out to me, it made me think about how backwards our priorities are as a people. Like, I don't know. I feel the need to mention that all your other races, the so-called fake Jews over there, Caucasians basically, Latinos, your Arabs, the Asians, everybody else in this world, whenever anything bad happens to them, they focus exclusively on what happened to them and who did it. They don't care about anything from the perspective of the perpetrator who did the wrongdoing to them. That's why you don't see fake Jews over there having compassion and talking about the Nazis that were so-called killing them during the Holocaust. So now, with that being said, in this dude's comment, he had the nerve to mention that some of our brothers and sisters died for the independence of this country too. Those who fought in the war too. And I'm like, dude, that was like, what, 2% of our people? Maybe less than that, like half of 1% of our people who who died for the independence of this country? What about the other 100% of our people that have died from the racism and the bigotry and the hatred of this country? What about them? See, you're so focused on that little measly 1% of our people who were still mistreated and done wrong while they were in the military. Some of them weren't even given their freedom. You're ignoring the hundreds of thousands and millions of us who died at the hands of racism and genocide during slavery, Jim Crow, police brutality, etc. I mean, just in the past 2 years alone, 2,200 black men have been murdered by the police. Let's put that in perspective real quick. There are some towns here in America with the population of about 2,200. So you mean to tell me within the past 2 years, the white law enforcement has killed enough, just men, that don't include women and children, just enough of our men to fill up a small town? That's a damn problem. And it's a problem to me because of the fact that our people, they turn a blind ear to that stuff. Like, some of our people, they don't care. Like, it's not that big of a deal to them. You know, they see the catastrophes going on with other nations and especially European nations. Like the Notre Dame Cathedral fire that happened a few weeks ago. And it's like, I saw so many of our people, they were so concerned about that fire, but it's like, you got issues going on in our communities. They're not using our taxpayer dollars to fund schools for us. They're not taking care of the roads in some of our communities. They're not giving us access to wealth. They're not taking care of the Flint water crisis. They're not taking care of the fact that our women over there in the Detroit hospitals have the highest mortality rates in the world, despite the fact that there are some third world countries where you can just have your baby in a hut and actually be considered safer. Well, black people are so worried about the progression and the wellness of European society to where we just completely neglect our own stuff. That is the vibe and the mindset that emanates from a person that tells me that I should celebrate the 4th of July because of the fact that 0.2% of our people fought in the War of Independence for this country. You strike me to be the type of person to think that our struggle doesn't really matter. It's all about America. Even though America has proven historically and systematically that they hate our freaking guts. They freaking hate us, but we're so busy focused on celebrating the independence of Massa from his Massa, when Massa don't give a crap about you. Think very less of you. I'm Elijah Y'all Reich. Like I said, it's been a minute, but I saw this comment and I said, you know what, I gotta address this because I see this a lot. It really irritates my soul because I'm the type of person, I don't like seeing the person who has been done repeatedly wrong or has had to endure pain and trauma kissing up to the person who's doing the pain and trauma to them. That's why women in abusive relationships, I don't think that they should be sitting there making excuses for the dude that's doing them wrong. I think that's stupid. I think it's ignorant. I think it's backwards. That's why they call it Stockholm Syndrome. It's a mental disorder. You're not supposed to feel sympathy for the person who's doing you wrong. You're supposed to feel like, I need to get the hell out from under this crazy dude before he does something to me. That's how you should be feeling. You should not be sitting there concentrating on whether or not this country, because they let a few of us fight in their war, that their independence is really our independence, especially when 99.9% of your people was still slaves. Slaves being raped, tortured, castrated, lynched, our babies fed to alligators, our families separated, our young daughters stripped from their mothers and fathers to be sex slaves to horny, depraved, nasty, troglodyte, Neanderthal, Donald Trump, trash looking people who just thought so much less of our women. They didn't even value them. They just saw them as a good time for the night, and then they would keep it moving. That being said, like the video, or you can dislike it, you can subscribe, or you can unsubscribe, share, and comment. That I'll say peace.